Hello and welcome to the most interesting part of this nVision tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to create nVision report from the scratch. You can tag along with me and create your own nVision report. My name is Sivakoya and I'm a PeopleSoft developer from the past 12 years. In the last 3 episodes of nVision, I discussed the foundational concepts of nVision. You know how important is foundation for a building. If you have not watched those videos, I would encourage you to go back and watch those videos. I have posted the links in the description below. Alright, now let's go through the steps required to create an nVision report. Of course, for any reporting tool, layout is mandatory and nVision is no exception. So we create layout using Microsoft Excel. Scope is optional. Scope is basically used for filtering process. If you want to run this nVision report for a specific set of accounts or departments, then you need to create scope for it. If not, it's an optional thing. Report request is almost similar to run control page. It will club the layout and scope, and it will give you a user interface where you can run the nVision report. And lastly, once you run the nVision report using report request, the output can be in Excel format or in HTML format. Now let's start with the step number 1, creating the layout for nVision. To design nVision layout, you need to fire up nVision client. I have demonstrated in video number 1 how to locate the installation file of nVision client. Alright, now once you fired up nVision client, you need to navigate to the add-ins tabs of Excel, and here you see nVision, and you have an option to create a new layout. Click on new layout, and you can give name for your layout. I will use the name demo, and you can save the layout. You might be wondering, where did that layout saved? Okay, that's very important. This is where you configure nVision input and output file location. Fire up PeopleSoft Configuration Manager. Click on Profile tab. Click Edit. Navigate to nVision tab. And this is where you can set the output location. If you see the report instance, once you run the nVision report, the output is stored at the specific location. How about the layout? So this is the location. When you create a new layout, it is stored in this specific location. Alright, now let's go back to nVision Designer. If you remember last time when you clicked on the new layout, it created a new instance of Excel, and you can see the name of your layout on the top. You can see demo, and you also notice that column A is hidden. It starts with column B, and the row number 1 is hidden. Why? Because that is the secret location where nVision code is stored. You heard it right. We write code in nVision. We have code in nVision. Just like we use people code, there is a separate language for nVision, and that code is stored in the column number 1 and row number 1. You can expose the code. Right now it's a brand new layout. There is no code behind it. We need to write one. So in order to expose the column A and row number 1, you need to navigate to nVision, click on options, and you need to click on show row and column criteria. Once you click, check it and click OK, you can see column A and row number 1 now. Did I say we can code in nVision? Yes. When you write the code, you can write the code in multiple locations. One is at the worksheet level, column level, row level, and cell level. Which takes the precedence? Cell takes the precedence. And overall settings can be done in the worksheet level, and you can write the code in column level, and the column level code is overridden by the row level, and row level is overridden by cell level. Alright, now let's go back to the layout. Now I will set the key properties of our layout that apply globally. In order to do that, navigate to nVision, layout options, and as you can see here, there are 2 types of layouts in nVision. One is the matrix layout and the other is tabular layout. So nVision is famous for matrix layout. Matrix layout pulls the summarized information, or the tabular layout pulls the transactional level information. So the tabular layout is almost similar to pulling the data using PSQuery, BI Publisher. So we will ignore that. So we will focus on the specialty of nVision, which is matrix layout. So we will pick the matrix layout here and give your set ID and effective date. So this is the date. Normally in the next phase of our designing, we will be pulling the departments or accounts into the layout. In that case, it will use this effective date to pull the department or account information. So let's give it some old date, 01/01/1900, and click OK. This is how we write the code in the nVision at the worksheet level. Select in the corner beside column A. Once you select here, you can notice the entire worksheet is selected. At this point, click on the nVision and layout definition and migrate to source, and here you select the ledger. Remember, we talked all the key financial information, including the current asset data, is stored in the ledger table. The source of our information is ledger table. Here you select your ledger. So in my environment, the ledger name is local, and we will select that. And you need to click on the button get list. It will give the list of fields from the ledger table. You need to select the field that represents the amount, from which field you want to pull the amounts from. So I would select posted total amount. Click on the apply. Now you see nVision generated code for us. Here the percentile signifies the beginning of nVision code, like main in any program, and it also distinguishes from the Excel formula. Normally Excel formulas start with equal to, but nVision starts with percentile. And we will worry about the syntax in upcoming episodes. For now, let's assume that it pulled all the amount information into the buffer. If you notice any matrix report, it pulls the data from the intersection of the rows and columns. So here what I'm going to do is in the row I'll write some code to pull the chart field information. In the column level, we will populate the time span from which period to which period we need to pull the posted amount. So now let's go ahead and write the code in the row level. In order to write the code at the row level, select the row where you want to place the code, then navigate to nVision layout definition. We will do this over and over and over again, because every time you select a column or row, you go to nVision and layout definition. So now you navigate to filter tab. This is where we add the chart field information. So in order to select the chart field, we need to pull the current asset accounts. We are pulling the data from the account roll-up tree, like we discussed in the last episode. So I will select the account roll-up tree. So we selected account roll-up tree, and I will also specify the account here in the field section, and I will click on the question mark. Click OK, and I will select OK here. Now I will click on by position. Here I am going to select the cash account first, and I will click OK, and I will click apply. As soon as you click apply, you can see nVision generated some code for me, and you can see here it has selected the tree account rollup and the node cash. Now I'm going to select all the other nodes. Okay, so in order to do that, so you can see here arrow, you can select retain content, so that it will copy all the contents before and it will push to the next row. So now I will click on the bottom arrow and I will click apply, and now I will change the cash node to market security. I will click OK. Likewise, let me remove the cash here. I'll remove the debt. Okay, that's done. Now click apply. Now it changed to market securities. Now I will retain the contents, and I will click on the down arrow and I will change the market security to something receivables, and I will unselect the market securities. I will click OK and click apply. Likewise, we are going to click one more time on the bottom arrow, and I'm going to change receivables to prepaid, and I will click OK, and I will remove receivables and click apply. That's it, guys. We have completed the code at the row level. Before I write the code in the column level, I want to show you the time span I'm going to use in this nVision layout. As you can see here, I will be using here timespan BAL. What it is going to do is it will pull all the information from period 1 that is fixed. Whatever the year you specified, it will begin with the time period 1, but the end period will be depending on the date you specified before you run the nVision report. Remember, like I said before, report request is where you will run the nVision. On the report request page, assume on a run control page, you will be giving a date. So based on that date, it will decide which year, which is the end year and which is the end period. Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you which date I'm going to use. I'm going to use 2016 December. So it will begin calculating the amount from period 1 to period 12. Okay, all right. This is how I write the code in the column level. Pick any column, you pick this column, and again the same drill. Go to the nVision, layout definition. You are going to go to the filter, source, and here you are going to specify the time span. We are going to give the time span BAL and apply and click OK. That's it. That's the code in the column level. I'm going to write code in one more column where it pulls the data from the previous fiscal year, and you can go ahead and check out the time span. It is BAL minus 1 year. The same, likewise, in order to write code at the column level, select the column, nVision, layout definition, navigate to source. Now you are going to provide the time span. Click on the question mark just to make sure it exists and click OK, apply, OK, done. You know the beauty of matrix layout? It can pull the labels automatically using the same concept of row column intersection. So let's pull the labels for all these nodes automatically using matrix layout. So I will select the column where you want to pull the labels into, then again nVision, layout definition, and now click on the label tab and you can specify description. Behind the scenes, what it does is it goes to this table, tree node table, and it matches the tree node and it pulls the description. This is the description field we specified in the matrix layout, and it will pull these labels automatically for us. We will see that once we run the report. Alright, so now here we specify Discover, click apply and click OK. Let's do a little bit of decoration work here. I enter some label like current assets, and maybe I will make it bold, and we will write some Excel calculations here. So let's sum up all the totals of the current assets right here. So I'll make it bold, and here I'm going to write some Excel formula. So I'm going to sum up equal to sum from E5 to E8. So this calculates the sum of all total assets, and likewise I'm going to copy the same thing here to calculate the total of the previous fiscal year. Let's see, it automatically changes to G, and we are all set to run the report. Like I said before, we will run the nVision report through report request. In order to run this nVision report, navigate to nVision, click on report request, and it pulls up. So give some name to this report request. So we will give demo. Give some title to this report, saying current assets report. So business unit is US 001, and make sure the output destination type is file, and we need to specify the as of date. So we plan to run it as of December 2016. Click save, so it will save the report request, same like run control ID. Save it and click on the run button. Here we go, it generated the current asset report for 2016. Oops, you cannot find the year here, so we can definitely display the year, fiscal year, here on the top. Let me do that. In order to do that, let's go back to the layout. We can specify the fiscal year here. We can select the cell. We are writing the code at the cell level now. Select the cell, click on nVision like always, layout definition. Now go to the variable section, and here click on date time periods, and you can select the fiscal year. Alright, and click apply and click OK, and let's write some Excel code here. We are going to subtract whatever the year here by 1 year. So in order to do that, let's do that equal to Excel code E3 minus 1, and let's remove this code, because when it generates the output of the report, it will also show the formulas. You don't want to show the formulas to the users, right? Let's hide the formulas now. In order to do that, nVision options and uncheck show on column criteria. Now let's go ahead and save the layout, and now let's go and run one more time. You can just click on run current report. It automatically picks the whatever the report request we ran before, and it will use the same parameters. I'll click on the run report. Bingo, now it generated the current asset report. Now you can see the fiscal year and the totals of the current assets for 2016 and 15. That's pretty much about it for today. For more interesting content, don't forget to subscribe my channel. My goal is to get interesting content every week to you.